You're listening to the Ask Drone U podcast. You ask, we answer your drone questions. Whether you're here to turn your passion into profit or you simply fly for fun, we're a community of learners and teachers who aspire to achieve greatness. We are
Drone U.
Hey everyone, welcome to another awesome episode of Ask Drone U. My name is Paul.
And my name is Rob, and this is episode 467. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We appreciate it as always.
Yes, we definitely do appreciate it. We also appreciate the continued support from our sponsors, people and the guys like DroneBase. Do you know what DroneBase is? Recently, they were mentioned in a TechCrunch article. Clients now include construction companies, Hilton Hotels, Allstate Insurance, Zillow, Keller Williams, the largest realtor by number of agents, and they use DroneBase to track progress of their work sites, measure areas and resources, verify insurance claims on roofs, shoot aerial marketing footage of properties, and more. Client just input their needs, and DroneBase dispatches a pilot with all the skills and hardware necessary to get that job done. Does that sound like you? Then you need to head over to go.dronebase.com / is it drone u?
/ drone u, and we need to emphasize go.dronebase.com. We understand some folks have been leaving off the go, and that will get you to a dead link, so don't go to that.
Yes.
Make sure it's go.dronebase.com / drone u.
Did you know that they were even given money by DJI to support their efforts?
Yeah, I know they've had some phenomenal investors join in what they're doing, and it's a nice platform that they're building for particularly, any pilots of all kinds of experience levels, but it's really great for beginners that are kind of looking to start earning money with their drone. So if that's you, check them out.
Definitely check them out. And thank you for asking your questions. As always, go to askadroneu.com and upload those questions, and we will get to them. If the podcast has ever seemed valuable to you or you found it informative, please give it a share or leave it a review on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you download podcasts. Anyway, Rob, we should probably get to today's question. It is a good one.
Yeah, it is a good one. We've got a lot of drones to choose from. And there was a time when it was pretty much the Phantom and maybe the 3DR, the Solo. And it's grown quite a bit in just the last 6 to maybe 18 months, 12 months.
The Typhoon H, the Autel series, the Phantom 4 Pro, the Mavic Pro, the Inspire 2. The list goes on and on.
There's a lot to choose from. So this question is getting into that. What do I do now that I'm ready to move up? Let's listen.
Hey guys, this is Jeremy from North Carolina. I've been looking at drones, and I'm got a Syma based on some previous recommendations from the podcast. But now I'm looking to upgrade to a quadcopter, and I don't know what to do on what particular model to start off with. I know the Phantom is a favorite. 3DR Solo is another popular one. And just recently, GoPro Karma and DJI Mavic came out. So I'm wondering which is a good one to start with. I'm kind of worried about 3DR because I heard recently that they're getting out of the drone game, and I don't want to get a product and then not have the support behind it. So if you guys can point me in the right direction, or at least give me some good things to consider, I would appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, Jeremy, for the question. Really, really appreciate it. It is a big question, and I will mention that this question came in before the Phantom 4 Pro came out, as well as the Inspire 2. So those are a couple more drones that we could add to his list. And it wasn't that long ago that he asked the question, but he did mention the Solo, and I think, frankly, that's probably out of the discussion at this point.
Definitely out of the question at this point. I think there are a couple points to really hit before we go into what drone should he buy. I'm very happy he started with the Syma. Great job. Love it. Everyone who's starting out with a drone should not buy a Mavic Pro. They should buy a Syma first. Why? Because they're going to learn how to fly much better on that than they are on a Mavic Pro.
For $50.
You've got things like obstacle avoidance. Let me just put it to you like this. If you count on obstacle avoidance to save your butt, you shouldn't be flying drones. I'm just going to say that right there. Boom. All right, I said it. If you fly a Syma and you crash it 10 times and you learn how the drones operate, you're going to have those accidents first. You're going to have them on a drone where it doesn't matter, and you're going to learn how to avoid those accidents as a whole, and really it's going to be much better for you. So great job getting the Syma. But my question, Rob, is what is he going to use it for?
Yeah, he didn't go into that. He didn't let us know what he's going to use it for. My hunch, based on kind of the tone of the question and kind of where he's coming from, is that it's probably going to be more of a standard fare user, maybe breaking into the commercial side of things via real estate, those kinds of things. And so I think that's probably how we should answer the question, is based on that perspective.
All right. Well, so then we'll say yes, he's going commercial. And I wrote down in my notes here for today, if you're starting a business and you're new, you need to know that you have to balance the best equipment with what's cost effective, because you don't want to be like all the guys who bought the Spreading Wings series, the S900, S1000s, that are just selling them now. They've never flown them, or maybe have flown them 4 or 5 times.
They're selling them in a situation that's kind of like buying a new car and you drive it off the lot and now it's got a used car price.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. So that being said, now you got to consider what equipment is going to keep you competitive in the environment. So if you're shooting, if you're shooting real estate and a realtor goes, well, those guys' photos have more detail. Why don't your photos have that kind of detail? And, sure, you can have zoom, but it's not going to help with the detail. So, I would say for him, with the new P4 Pro coming out, I would probably get a P4 Pro. I think it's absolutely the best for commercial purposes. That new 1-inch sensor, 4K 60p, it doesn't really matter if he's just, entry level getting into video. But the bigger stills are definitely going to help him out.
Sure.
The Phantom is going to give him the flexibility he needs. He's not going to be able to fly every day of the week, which is okay. We already know that. But he will be able to fly a majority of the time. If his wind is over 15 or so, probably not.
Right.
He probably would need to go to an Inspire, but it sounds like his skill level isn't there yet. And I really caution people to just go from a Syma into an Inspire or a Syma into an S900.
Sure. Okay. So the P4 Pro, you're going to be looking at roughly $2,500 probably by the time you get a couple of batteries and a case and some of the things that you're going to need.
Yes.
I would think. I guess that depends on whether you get the built-in screen or not, because that adds $300 to it. But in that $2,000 to $2,500 range. So what if, and again, we don't have the full background of what Jeremy's looking to do, but what if he went to Walmart, which is now selling the P3 standard for $329? Maybe he just goes to that and sort of practices with a platform that is going to get him used to the more expensive platform, the P4 Pro down the road, or by the time he's ready, maybe a P5, who knows? What about going that route?
I think it's definitely doable. It's definitely plausible. You're going to limit yourself significantly in the jobs that you can perform as far as making really solid money, clearly. You're not going to have the same quality you would.
Sure.
But it is a great platform to learn on. And frankly, if he were to learn on it and he were to practice, and he were to learn how to get really nice, smooth footage, equipment becomes less of an obstacle when you've got really, really smooth footage.
Sure.
So that's video, not photos. Photos, you don't really have to be that good of a pilot to get good photos. So You have to be a good photographer. Anyway, that being said, I'm not sure if that's a smart move.
Okay.
If he's ready to dive in, let him dive in. He's going to take it more seriously. He's really going to consider whether he wants to do it as a business or not. I think it's going to force him to do that. And if he decides that yes, which chances are he's probably going to decide, I think the P4 Pro is going to put him in a much better position to be eligible to get good jobs, to not only work and practice, but also be able to practice with a good setup. Here's the thing. Phantom 3 Standard has that old Wi-Fi system for transmitting data, and it really opens the door to more liability. So
Sure.
I would say if you are ever thinking about going commercial, I would stay away from that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting as we talk about this. I think personality comes out in it and kind of approach to these kinds of decisions, because I got to say I probably would go with something like the P3 Standard just to practice with it.
Yeah.
To get used to that platform and just get comfortable with those controls and feel less concerned about screwing up. Whereas if I just went for the P4 Pro and I wasn't really that great at flying yet, I'd be maybe a little hesitant, and I don't know that I'd push myself in the way that I would need to really learn.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not who Jeremy is. And so I think you have to think of this and really kind of, not to overdo this, but soul search a little bit in terms of how you learn, how aggressive you're going to be if you've spent $2,500 versus $350, and just kind of think through some of those things in addition to what you plan on doing with the drone in the long run.
Gotcha.
But either way, I think it makes sense either way. You just got to pick what's best for you.
Yeah.
But what I don't hear you saying, sorry, I cut you off. What I don't hear you saying is just go for the Inspire.
No.
Because that's too big of a jump.
I just had a student who came here and their first drone was an Inspire. And I was kind of like, I didn't want to make the person feel bad that they had done that.
Especially since they already had it.
Yeah. And, they can make great money with it.
Sure.
But when you're just getting into it, it's, here's the analogy I like to give someone, right? Mm-hmm. You've got a teenage son, right, Rob?
Yes, I do.
And he's probably going for his license here soon, huh?
He probably will, actually, yeah.
Yeah. Now imagine if your son, Jake, I like Jake, by the way, he's a good kid. Imagine if Jake was given a car on his birthday, okay, right after he got his license, right?
Bad chance.
And we're going to be like the Inspire pilots, okay? And you just bought him a Porsche 911 Turbo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are the chances of that actually happening?
Well, on many levels, 0 to zilch.
Sorry, Jake.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll just clear the air for you right there, buddy.
Unless he figures out a way to buy his own by the time he's 16, he's not getting a Porsche 911.
So what kind of car would you get Jacob for his first car?
Oh, that's already established. He's getting my old truck.
So it's beat up.
Pretty
it
much.
can take a beating.
Yes, it
doesn't
can.
get very good gas mileage, but it's going to help him practice.
Exactly.
And on that bombshell, that's going to do it for us today, guys. My name is Paul.
I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Drone U.